On Thursday, a story from Platformer shows more evidence that Elon Musk is a pathetic man-baby. So now, reportedly, Musk had fired one of the two remaining principal engineers from Twitter, who was already, of course, barely limping along. Not doing well. Now, the firing happened after the billionaire CEO asked about his own engagement numbers. So, wait, that's not... I thought you bought the company in order to, I don't know, eventually make a profit from it. Isn't that what you would be most interested in? Hey, how can we recoup my investment? I spent $44 billion. I would like to make some of that money back and not, lose a ton of money, which currently he is doing right now. He's doing nothing but losing money. No, that's not what's important here. It's his engagement numbers. I'm not getting enough engagement on my tweets. It appears to have declined. Look into it. In fact, here's his quote. This is ridiculous. I have more than 100 million followers, and I'm only getting tens of thousands of impressions? Why? Answer me that question. Why is my engagement down? Help me. Well, okay, so, look. One of the engineers, or I should say employees, explains that there's two different types of answers that you can get. One that makes sure that you don't get fired, or the truth. Now, this engineer decided to give him the truth. Apparently, public interest in Elon Musk's antics is waning. Employees showed Musk internal data regarding engagement with his account, along with a Google Trends chart. Last April, they told him Musk was at peak popularity in the search rankings, indicated by a score of 100. Today, he is now at a score of just 9. Oops.
Oh no!
Wow, that is quite the precipitous decline. Not good. Not good at all. All right, so now engineers were made to investigate whether or not it was an algorithm change. And that somehow the platform that he owns was shadow banning him. Or somehow limiting his reach. Now, that engineering team, however, found no evidence that the algorithm was biased against him. His response. Oh, his response.
You're fired.
Fired! Fired!
Baby. Sad. He fired them. Wow. Oh, my God. I know there's more. Musk had also instructed employees to track how many times each of his tweets were recommended. According to one current worker, it has now been 7 weeks since Twitter added public view counts for every tweet. At the time, Musk had promised that the feature would give the world a better sense of how vibrant the platform is. Shows how much more alive Twitter is than it may seem, as over 90% of Twitter users read but don't tweet. Read but don't tweet, reply or like, as those are public actions, he tweeted. Almost 2 months later, though, however, view counts have had the opposite effect, emphasizing how little engagement most posts get relative to their audience size. And let me tell you what, there's been no change. That's how it's always worked. Okay? Again, the way Twitter works, and Elon Musk does not understand this. You have two different sets of users. You've got normal users, normies. Which, by the way, political Twitter, which I am immersed in, and it is a bubble. Let's just say that. Political Twitter is actually a really small amount of Twitter. Very, very small. And that is filled with what we call power users, right? Well, these power users are journalists, celebrities, personalities, brands, content creators, people like that. And they'll put out content. That content could be videos or just normal tweets, right? And the vast majority of people, normies that come in to Twitter, they go to read that stuff. And that's really it. All right, normal people like to go and see what these power users are saying, and sometimes might respond, but generally they'll just read and they'll move on with their day. They don't spend all this time on Twitter that apparently Elon Musk does, and he spends an inordinate amount of time on Twitter, even before he bought the platform. He was always there. Isn't he supposed to be working? Doesn't he run like 3 companies? Shouldn't he be doing that instead of tweeting all the time? I mean, if anything busts the myth that billionaires work harder than anyone else, it's that. The fact that you can sit there and spend like your entire day tweeting and responding to some of the most vile people online. Don't you have a job to do? Don't you have companies to run? Oh, that might explain why SpaceX and Tesla are, their stocks are crashing, imploding, if you will. Yeah. But anyway, that said, Musk doesn't know what's going on. Doesn't know how to do things, apparently. And that's not just me saying this. It's employees at Twitter. So when he came in, without knowing how it works, he fired a whole bunch of people. The people who actually knew how to run the thing started messing with stuff, scaring away a huge amount of advertisers. I think, 70% of advertisers are gone now? And then started selling blue check marks, making everyone into a power user. I mean, everyone if you have $8, I should say. Okay, so now as a result, Twitter usage is down. It's declined almost 9% since Musk's takeover. Now, some reasons for that is, again, you've got glitches. You had some pretty bad glitches the other day that were ridiculous. But you also had, how do we put this? Nazis everywhere. That's pretty much it. Turns out he let some of the worst people back onto the platform. They would come in, and guess what that does? It scares off advertisers, and it scares off normal people who aren't at all interested in seeing Nazis, especially since he had changed the platform itself to begin recommending people whom they don't follow, right? So now, in fact, people have been seeing tweets from accounts they don't follow, inserted at random, and the majority of this has been from right-wing accounts. So now, people are suddenly getting flooded with Matt Walsh, Tim Pool, Graham Lineman. I don't know who this Graham Lineman guy is, but he just would show up in my feed. And, of course, the famous Cat Turd. That's right, Cat Turd. Who's Cat Turd? Most everyone is like, who the fuck are you talking about? Who's Cat Turd? Look, he's a right-winger with like 1 million followers. Now, the thing is, Elon Musk, loves Cat Turd. For some reason. It's bizarre. Now, in fact, he loves not only Cat Turd, but other right-wingers that he takes suggestions from pretty much exclusively them. Because they'll go and they'll tweet it, oh, Elon Musk, there's a problem. In fact, there's a really hilarious story here. According to Twitter employees, there's times Musk is just awake late at night and says all sorts of things that don't make sense. And then he'll come to us and be like, this one person says they can't do this one thing on the platform. And then we have to run around chasing some outlier use case for one person. It doesn't make any sense. And you know what? You know what that is? That is the 3 a.m. Cat Turd call. That's right. He is taking, people like that will complain to him that Twitter, oh, my engagement and my shadow banned. And you see this all the time, by the way. If you're actually on the platform, they're nonstop complaining. Even now, to Elon Musk, oh, my engagement, my shadow ban, what did you shadow ban me? Elon Musk, fix it. And then Elon Musk, his hair's on fire. He goes and runs over to the engineer and says, oh, you got to fix it. Cat Turd complained. This is why he's made a lot of the changes that he's made. And again, they're still unhappy with it. And it's funny to see them turn on Elon Musk, even after he is bent over backwards to try to make them happy and to change the platform to essentially, True Social. Rumble, or whatever, bending over to conservatives, and they're still so salty. They're still so angry about it. Now, that said, it's also making the employees angry. In fact, one employee said, quote, "We haven't seen much in the way of a longer-term cogent strategy on Twitter growth. Most of our time is dedicated to three main areas: putting out fires, mostly caused by the firing of wrong people and trying to recover from that, performing impossible tasks, and improving efficiency without clear guidelines of what the expected end results are." Wow. "We mostly move from dumpster fire to dumpster fire, from my perspective. That is someone who works there." Damn. Now, they also say that perks that had made Twitter an attractive place to work pre-Musk have also been eradicated. Food at the office sucks, and now we have to pay for it. That's capitalism for you. And I know this sounds petty, but they appear to have obtained the absolute worst coffee vendors on Earth. Not that that's a huge deal or anything like that, but it does kind of show you how, they've cut back and basically made this a very unfriendly workplace by a very unfriendly boss. Slack, once the epicenter of Twitter's open culture where employees discuss anything and everything, has gone dormant. One current employee described it as a quote-unquote ghost town. People don't even chat about work things anymore. It's just heartbreaking. And when people pass each other in the halls, we're told that the standard greeting is, "Where are you interviewing? And where do you have offers?" And as I mentioned earlier, there's two different answers that you can give: the safe answer or the right answer. When you're asked a question, one employee said, you run it through your head and say, what is the least fireable response I can have to this right now? Look, that's what happens when you work for a man baby. That said, one more couple of quotes here from the employee said, "If Elon can learn how to put a bit more thought into some of the decisions and fire from the hip a bit less, it might do some good." So a little bit of advice, okay? He needs to learn the areas where he just does not know things and let those that do know take over. Well, see, that's the thing. That's good advice. In fact, a lot of bosses should take that advice. Because he's right. They don't know everything. And that's okay. That's why you have the ability to delegate. Okay? And you delegate to the people who know the most. And you listen to their recommendations. And you take their recommendations into account. That's how a normal workplace is supposed to work. Okay? That's how a healthy workplace, where you actually listen to people and go, "Oh, okay, I think that's a good idea. Yeah. But see, Elon Musk is a man baby, so he doesn't do that. In fact, that employee says he really doesn't like to believe that there's anything in technology that he doesn't know. And that's frustrating. You can't be the smartest person in the room about everything all the time. But see, that's the thing. He believes that. He's really bought into his own bullshit. He is proving single-handedly, and I think that's the best thing about the Twitter meltdown. He's been proving that the meritocracy myth is just that, a myth. Turns out, no, billionaires are not the smartest people. They're not the best. They don't know everything. They're not, in the case of Elon Musk, a living tech god. No, they're people, and people make mistakes. People are prone to make mistakes. They don't know everything. And it might help for him to have a little bit of humility. Unfortunately for Musk, he doesn't have that. And so, mistake after mistake after mistake. And it's because he thinks that he knows everything, that he knows better than everyone. And, well, you can see what direction that is going into.